Hey everybody, I'm Vera Stewart and welcome to the VeryVera Show. You know, in season 11, I'm having the best time introducing you to Southern ingredients and Southern techniques. So we've had great things already so far this season. We've done pecans, bacon, apples, sweet potatoes, and now today we're doing my all-time favorite, peanut butter. We're going to do 3 great recipes today. We're going to start with a peanut butter pudding that has bananas and homemade chocolate sauce. Fantastic. And then I've got a really unique entree for you. How about peanut butter chili? I cannot wait for you to try this recipe. And then finally, who doesn't love a peanut butter and jelly bar? This will be a great snack for during the holidays. And in Vera's Corner today, speaking of the holidays, last year we introduced you to a microwave peanut brittle. I want everybody to watch this again because it is a great gift-giving idea. All right, so we've got quite a lot to do. Let's get started on that peanut butter pudding. All right, everybody, so when we got excited about doing peanut butter as an ingredient, needless to say, there was not a recipe that came across my desk that I did say, let's make that one, because I absolutely love peanut butter. Well, this one in particular interested me because it's pudding, and if you guys were with me right now in this kitchen, this custard is absolutely amazing. Look how it's coating this wire whisk. So why in the world are we doing peanut butter right now? Well, number one, it's because it's National Peanut Butter Month, the month of November. And the Georgia Peanut Commission is really introducing in November all kinds of things that you can do with peanut butter. And as you'll learn today, it's from sweet to savory, all kinds of recipes that you can make. And we certainly want you to check out their website too for recipes using peanut butter. So let me tell you how I got to this part right here. So we started with milk in this saucepan. And remember, when you're heating milk to a boil, you've just got to be patient. You've got to use that wire whisk, let the heat come up gradually, and just constantly stir it. Once you've gotten it to a full boil, you're going to turn the heat off. In most cases, you're going to have to remove it from the heat, but again, I'm using my Wolf induction cooktop, and when you turn it off, it's off. All right, so while that's cooling down, I'm going to add the other ingredients that go into this custard. We're going to start with sugar, cornstarch, and salt. Then you're going to add in more milk. Again, you want to use your wire whisk. You want to work quickly so you don't get lumps. And then finally, you're going to put an egg in there. You're going to whisk that, get the egg yolk broken, and mix that together really well. Once that's done, you're going to add it back to this now very hot milk liquid. So tempering that egg is important. Just long enough to get that egg mixture to the same temperature as what I'm getting ready to add it to. Otherwise, you're going to have the little specks of yellow yolk in your custard. This custard, just look at it, is beautifully colored. Everything worked out great. So I've got that all combined. I cooked this for about 8 to 10 minutes until it is coating my wire whisk or my wooden spoon, whatever instrument you're using there. So now I'm going to add in a tablespoon of butter, a tablespoon of vanilla extract. And again, when vanilla extract is this concentrated in a recipe, use your best brand. Use your best brand of butter, your best brand of vanilla, so that you really get that great flavor. Oh my goodness, this really takes me back to my grandmother's kitchen when she used to make homemade custard for puddings. All right, so now Georgia Grinders peanut butter. This peanut butter is so delicious. You can really taste all the peanuts in it because it's not overwhelming with extra added sugar. It is a Georgia product, and we're so proud of our state with our peanut farmers and everything that they do. I know you might remember I went down to South Georgia to Boyd Peanut Farm, got on the tractor, rode all over the farm, watched how they dug up the peanuts, and it was so interesting. So this is just going to get completely combined, and I have decided to make this as an individual dessert, and divide it between my ramekins. And in presentation today, I'll show you some fun ways to make this look very presentable on your table. So come back with me in just a few minutes. We're going to get started on that peanut butter chili. All about peanut butter today. Welcome back, everybody, and if you're just joining me, we are celebrating National Peanut Butter Month, and nothing could be better than my association with the Georgia Peanut Commission and everything I have learned. You know, I know for sure that I love peanuts and I love peanut butter, but I didn't know some of the other things about it that make it such a nutritious food. You know, through the years, if I get home from work and I haven't started dinner yet and I'm just about to starve, I'll just open up a jar of peanut butter and eat a tablespoon of it. And it just cuts that appetite and really gives me a little bit of energy to get dinner made. So this month, just keep that in mind. Remember all of the health benefits, heart healthy. So many things about peanut butter is just a great addition to your diet if you've not tried it. So I'm giving you some ways today, not to eat it completely off of a spoon, but to incorporate it into meals that can make them more nutritious. So this is a very unique recipe. This is a chili that is made with peanut butter. And you know, it sounds a little bit unusual, but it is just delicious. So what I did in advance was I picked up my ground beef from the fresh market, and you know, they always have it on sale on Tuesdays. So keep that in mind. You can get that wonderful ground chuck on sale on Tuesdays. So I just browned that until all of the pink was gone. Then I put a colander in just a glass bowl and I drained all of the excess fat off through the colander. And I left just enough of that fat in my frying pan so that I can saute the rest of my vegetables. I've gone ahead and added that ground hamburger meat to my slow cooker. And you know, slow cookers are just the best during the holiday season when we're all so busy. If you can get something like this prepped out the night before, all your ingredients, just like I've done them today, in your refrigerator, then all you have to do the next morning is pop them into your crock pot. All right, so I'm going to turn this up to about a medium-high heat. And these are the other ingredients that are going to go into this delicious chili. I've got peppers. You can use red, green, yellow. You can combine all the different ones. But since it's close to holiday, I thought red and green would be just perfect. So we're going to add that in. And then I've got Schumann Farms Vidalia onions. And these are just the perfect sweet onion to use in a recipe like this. And when you're using that many, and you want to have all your other flavors blend as well, it's very complementary to your other vegetables. And you know, what could be better than a little bit of a carrot crunch in chili? So that makes a great addition to this as well. All right, so these are just going to saute for just long enough for them to get translucent. So let me speak a little bit more about the Georgia Peanut Commission. You know, in the state of Georgia, peanut farming is such a big industry for our state. And you know, every time we hear about, you know, weather problems, whether it's hurricane season in the fall or whether it's that final frost in March or April, you know, think about those farmers, and it's bad enough for all of us to be inconvenienced, but when they are having to consider whether or not their crop is going to make it, it's really a big deal. We are very, very fortunate to have so many peanut farmers in our state, and they provide such great products for us to use. All right, so this is looking just about right, so now I'm going to add in my garlic. And I love to just go ahead and use my garlic press and use fresh garlic when I'm making something like that. Just like I said earlier when we were making the pudding, use your best ingredients when you're doing this sort of thing. All right, so now while that's cooking down for about another couple of minutes, I'm going to add everything else to the crock pot that goes with this. So we're going to start with the Fresh Markets brand of tomato sauce. And you know, I grew up going to the A&P grocery store, and now I'm really telling my age. And you know I'm going to be 70 very soon. And the fresh market to me is so representative of how I felt when I went into that grocery store as a little kid. You know, you can run in there, their brand is so spot on with whatever you may need to make a recipe. I highly recommend their brands of anything in that store. Okay, so now we're gonna add in some diced tomatoes. And this also has other seasonings in with it. We've got some green chilies. And then we've got that Georgia Grinders peanut butter that we've been talking about. And I certainly want to encourage you, you can pick this up at the grocery store, but you can also order it online. You can get it on Amazon. So it's certainly something that I want you to try. And then I've got my other seasonings there, my salt, pepper, my smoked paprika, and my chili powder. So I'm just gonna mix this together and get this cooking. And when we come back from the break, before that, we're gonna go ahead and talk about that peanut brittle that I mentioned that we had so many views on last year and so many great comments. So I wanna show you that again. And then when we come back, we're going to get started on the peanut butter and jelly bars, my favorite. So see you in just a minute. Vera's Corner is brought to you by TaxSlayer. You know, during the holiday season, there are those old-fashioned family recipes that we thought were lost and gone forever. Well, today I'm going to show you how to make Granny's peanut brittle in the microwave. It is fantastic. Start by lightly buttering a 9x12 cookie sheet so that your brittle doesn't stick. Next, add and mix together sugar and corn syrup in a glass microwavable bowl. Make sure you get it nice and incorporated. Microwave that mixture on high for 3.5 minutes. Remove the bowl and add in your peanuts. Mix together well so that all of the peanuts are covered. Return the bowl to the microwave and cook for another 3 minutes. Next, while the mixture is hot, stir in your butter and vanilla. After the butter and vanilla are incorporated, return to the microwave for the last minute on high. Once your bowl has cooled enough to remove from the microwave, add your baking soda to the hot mixture. Stir quickly until light and fluffy. Immediately pour the mixture onto the cookie sheet and spread thinly to the edges of the pan. Let the brittle cool completely on the cookie sheet. Once cool, you can break apart the brittle into smaller, more manageable pieces by hand. Lastly, I love to dip and decorate my brittle with melted white and dark chocolate for an added twist in your presentation and flavor. Start free today at TaxSlayer.com. Welcome back, everybody, and I hope you enjoyed Vera's Corner. That recipe is so easy, and you know, peanut brittle was always the hardest thing, and only a few of the grandmothers knew how to do it. So I hope that you'll try it. It makes great teacher gifts and neighbor gifts. All right, so these are the peanut butter and jelly bars, and for us, with my two sons growing up, one of the things that I loved to do was what we called two toasted. So that was 2 slices of bread that I put in the toaster. I spread with the peanut butter and jelly, and I served it warm. And the crunch in this kind of reminds me of that sandwich. So I'm really excited about this recipe and hope that you'll try this too. And our recipes are always available on our website at VeryVeras.com. All right, so I had a little bit that I did in advance. First of all, you're probably wondering, why have I got aluminum foil in this 8x8 square baking pan? One of the reasons is because you're going to be able to lift this out and cut it into the perfect squares because it's going to be unattached to the pan. So I love that part. So I went ahead and lined my pan with aluminum foil. Then I've made the crust that goes on the bottom, and that was a little bit tedious of a procedure, but it really works really well. So I used a double boiler this time just to make sure that my sugar and my butter and my cocoa would not start to separate and coagulate. So melt the butter in the double boiler, add in your sugar, add in your cocoa, and just get that completely blended. Once you've done that, you're going to whisk an egg. And here's where I recommend to have that egg at room temperature, because you're going to want to temper that egg just like we did in the pudding recipe. If the egg is really cold, it's going to take a little bit longer. But again, you just want to take spoonfuls of the hotter mixture into the egg until you've brought it up to the same temperature as the butter, the cocoa, and the sugar. All right, so I've done that. Once that cooked until it looked like fudge, which is about 5 to 6 minutes, then I added in crushed saltines and my Georgia salted peanuts that I crushed up too, and that makes this amazing crust. Pour it in the pan, spread it about, and then I used my grape jelly. You can use strawberry, you could use whatever flavor you like. I just particularly love the grape. So now we're going to do the filling that goes with this. So I've got my butter in my mixer. I'm going to add to that my Georgia Grinders peanut butter. And I know y'all are already online right now ordering some of it, because we've used it in every recipe today. It is just the best peanut butter. And we're just going to blend this together until it's really light and fluffy. All right, so I've got confectioner's sugar. And we're just going to stir that in. And again, this is where this taller bowl to my KitchenAid really comes in handy, because this does kind of splatter just a little bit until it gets combined. This keeps my counter cleaned off. So I'm going to turn it up just a little bit. And this has been in the freezer, so now this is really hard. And when I get ready to add this filling to the top, it's going to spread pretty easily. All right, so that's good to go. So let me get this out of the bowl and spread on top. And you know, these are some of those treats. These freeze really well when you're looking for something to take to a tailgate, or just a great snack for this time of year for the kids when they come home from school. This really works very well. So whenever you're trying to spread, I always like to dollop a little bit at a time so that I can evenly distribute it across the top. So once I've got this completely coated, this is going to go back in the freezer, and then I'm going to get started on a chocolate glaze that's going to go on the top. And this is where the melt feature on my induction cooktop comes in so handy. If you can take a quick look at my chips, they look like they're still whole, but when I get started on this, it's going to be like velvet. All right, so come back with me in just a few minutes. I'll get this spread around, popped in the freezer, and then we'll top it with some more chocolate, and we'll have a great presentation for you in just a moment. Oh, wow, this chili is amazing. This entire cottage smells like this. And if we had company right now, we'd all be sitting down with a bowl of this delicious chili. So we're celebrating National Peanut Butter Month and doing it with great recipes today, and with the Georgia Peanut Commission and Georgia Grinders peanut butter. So we've had a great time. Let's quickly go back through what we did today, and let me give you some garnish suggestions. So we started with the peanut butter pudding, and when you use the Georgia Grinders, you're gonna see the peanuts in this peanut butter. You want to make it smooth, but you wanna make sure that they see this peanut butter in that recipe. And then we've garnished it with some of the salted peanuts on the top. We also did bananas, and one of the tips that I'll give you there is, if you're gonna cut bananas on top of something, dip them quickly down in some lemon juice and then let them drain on a paper towel. It seals them, and then they won't turn brown. You don't want to leave it in there too long, but that's just perfect. But the cutest thing on the plate are these little acorns, and these are the little mini Nutter Butter cookies that you use a Hershey's Chocolate Kiss and a Hershey's little chip, like cooking chip, to make it look like an acorn. So that's just a quick little snack that complements that tray. All right, then we did the chili, and obviously this makes quite a bit. This freezes really well. cooks in this slow cooker all day long. We said 4 hours, but you can turn it on low and just enjoy that aroma the entire time. I've got a bowl with it down there, and again, use the peanuts as a garnish. You could put cheese or any of your favorite garnish for chili on that. Serve it with some crackers or a nice piece of bread and a salad, and you've got a whole meal. All right, so the peanut butter jelly bars, those turned out really great too. And just when they're sliced, I got 36 squares out of that 8x8 pan. So, you know, use your little elements there to make sure that you're cutting the squares about the same width for each one, but it has a nice crunch, has a nice chocolate on the top. And when I put the filling on top of the bars and put that back in the freezer while I made the glaze, which was literally my melt feature on my Wolf induction stove, it looks like the chips are still solid, but as you can see, they just turn into velvet. Mix that with some butter, and I just spread that on the top. So those are a really great quick snack. So in preparation for this show today, I was expecting to be with my brothers and sisters for a family reunion. So I took some of these things with me to that, and everybody enjoyed it. Some of you may remember that all of my pound cakes are named for my brothers and sisters. So as I always say on the Very Vera Show, no matter what you do it in good taste. I hope you'll enjoy these recipes, and certainly come back and join us again next week.